And they were making money then, but they're making more money now. And if you don't do it, then BlackRock and the people behind the scenes running things are going to start pulling advertisers. They're going to put pressure on your advertisers to pull out from your show, and you're going to take a pay cut,
Yeah.
right? So it doesn't surprise me at all that Howard Stern would do this, because this guy is if there was ever a morally bankrupt person on earth, he would be the king,
Yeah.
right? This guy has no morals at all. He's just man. I never liked him ever.
No shit. Yeah, well, I used to listen to him. I mean, back then I wasn't so. I mean, I used to listen to him like early 2000s, and you know, it was just funny. It was a funny show. It was a FM show. He was on FM, so I just to listen to him at work and
It's
trip
not
out.
even his politics. It's not even his politics that bothered me, or whatever he would say about the government. It was his disgusting lack of morals, completely morally bankrupt,
Yeah, I
that
mean,
bothered me. I don't mind, like, people want to make jokes and about women or white people or whatever. I'm fine with that. But there's a line, and this guy would go over that line, and he would go into the depths of hell over the line. Like, he's just disgusting. Like,
yeah,
he just makes me gag when I listen to him and look at him. I'm like, dude, you are a gross example of a human.
well, now even more so because now on top of that, put it like this. I put it on Twitter the other day, man. All of us that listened to him knew that he was just a coward, and he had no shame in saying it. He's just a pussy. He's a big pussy. So I think that what he's doing right now, he's just running to the side that has power because they're all the rich guys, like he's rich, and they'll just protect them. And that's what he's doing. He's just aligning himself with who he thinks is going to be the winners, and he's just trying to push them over. But it's because he's such a coward. Like, even on his personal level, people that he's had on the show, people that are writers that have left the show, they all hated his guts. They don't like him because personally they just thought he was just a fake person.
He's a
So yeah,
terrible
he's just
person.
for sure like
Worse than I like
a
him.
morally
Imagine,
bankrupt guy, like on all levels, really.
yeah, I can imagine having to go into work with this guy every day, this morally bankrupt person in a position of power. I mean, there's moral bankruptcy, and then there's Howard Stern. Like, I mean, he just honestly just disgusted me. And so
Yeah,
people would always tell me, "Oh, Howard Stern said this, Howard Stern said that." And I always be like, "Yeah, okay." You know, like, this guy is complete trash.
yeah,
You know, I can't do it. In politics aside, I didn't even matter. His lack of any principles or morals, and not only that, he would push it to the point of, like, anti-moral, anti-principle. Like, he would go so far with it. You're like, bro, there's something deeply wrong with him.
yeah.
Like, he's in the depths. I mean, I can't think, honestly, true to God, I can't think of a person that I think is more morally bankrupt than him.
Yeah. Not really.
So I don't care what he has to say. I mean, don't surprise me at all. Like I said,
Well,
the way it works is like what they happen with him with this. I'm going to support Kamala Harris stuff is like, like I said, you got these billionaires behind the scenes, and just like with every corporation, like you go to Kohl's or Target or whatever, they push all this woke stuff, and they push the narrative to them. And if they don't, then these BlackRock, this giant investment group, the biggest investment group in the world, is going to pull out funding from advertisers. They're going to put pressure on advertisers to pull out, and these advertisers are going to do it because BlackRock has a bully pulpit with their money. They have so much money, it's ridiculous. So they can push anybody around in any way they want. They basically control the stock market, and they can really hurt a Target or a Kohl's or a Howard Stern,
yeah,
right? And so
yeah,
Howard Stern is like, you know what? He's a greedy, bankrupt person who already has millions of dollars, but he wants more. It's never enough.
yeah,
So he's like, well, I'm not taking a pay cut, so I'll say whatever you want me to say.
yeah,
Because he's a coward, like you said. He's not going to stand on his own. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need them. He's secure, but he's afraid of losing advertisers, basically.
yeah,
So I think
yeah.
that's
That's
what's going
exactly.
on with him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
And
Exactly.
someone
It's
like
good.
him, it's not even hard to do. Like,
Well,
well, there's no morals involved, and you can get those people to do anything you want. All you got to do is pay them.
Yeah, for sure. He don't even have the same fan base that he used to have. I'm pretty sure a lot of his former listeners, like me, we all support Trump. So everybody's like, and that's what you see actually when anybody ever posts like stuff about him. In the comments, you'll see everybody says the same thing as me. Like, oh, I used to be a long time listener. I can't believe what happened to this guy. So yeah, he's irrelevant, man. He's just doing exactly what you said, man. He's just scared of losing
Well,
his money.
I mean, really, when it comes down to it, really break it down to its core, you're getting to spiritual matters. Like, he's so morally bankrupt that he's wide open to the devil or Satan or demons that can move him in whatever direction they want, and he's wide open to that
Yeah.
and fully accepting of that. And that brings up to me like the situation with Israel. Like, when you look at what's going on with Israel and Lebanon and Gaza or the Palestinians and Iran, you're looking at biblical stuff that's right out of Ezekiel, Isaiah, and Daniel. I mean, this stuff is written and it's playing out just like it's written. And we're getting to the point where it literally says in Ezekiel that Israel will have a false peace. They'll think they're safe. Then they'll basically the world's going to come against them. And it literally names the countries. And the countries that are involved are already involved. They're part of it. But Russia, Turkey, and Iran are the main players. Iran obviously is already involved. Turkey and Russia are arming their enemies. Russia's arming Yemen, which is also trying to strike Israel, or they have. And Turkey is saying a lot of negative things about Israel right now too. So, according to Ezekiel, when Russia, Turkey, and Iran, the big players, come in from the north and attack Israel, this is basically the end of the age. This is when Jesus comes back, and whether you're a believer or not, this is what the Bible says, and this is what's happening. It should almost force belief. Like, how could these people have written this thousands of years ago, and now it's playing out? And when that happens, God's going to protect Israel. It would look like Israel has no chance because you got all these giants coming against it, but God's going to protect them, and he's going to crush all these other nations. And he does it because he doesn't do it for Israel. He does it because it shows that I am God. This couldn't happen any other way. And you can just look at the missile strikes that happened, last week with Iran. They shoot 400 ballistic missiles, ICBMs. 181 get into Israel airspace,
Yeah.
and not one person died. This is the
Yeah.
hand of God. No, there's never been an attack with ICBMs like this in the history of the human race. Nothing even close that this many ICBMs have been fired at one country at one time. Never. Israel's the size of New Jersey. Not one landed and killed anybody.
Yeah. That's a
I
trip.
mean, and God said, I'm going to protect Israel. And how this is like, it's a miracle that, not one person, they shoot 181 missiles get into their airspace and not one person died. That's like a miracle in itself. So you can see this playing out, like, and so that's like the reason I bring that up is because it looks like, and no one knows for sure, but it really looks like, because we're told to look for these things in the Bible. And so it looks like we're at the end of the age or the end of times, or we're getting real close. So the time may be short, for people to get their ticket, and so if you're in disbelief or you're not sure, I would take a real good hard look at it right now, because time may be running out. And it really looks that way, like I said, because it's so much coordinated with what the Bible's saying is what's happening. And this is written, I don't know how many thousand years ago. Ezekiel, that's like 3,000 years ago,
Yeah.
right? And this is what's happening, because so in Ezekiel it says, God says, basically talking about Israel. Israel is his people. They're God's chosen people. So he forms Israel. Then he tells them, I'm your God. He makes himself plain to them. Then they basically reject him and say, no, we want a king. And God keeps telling them, you don't want a king. I am God. I am your God. You don't need a king. And they are disobedient, rebellious. And so God says, finally, fine, you can have a king. They give him a king, King Saul. He's a terrible king. And then God says, because of your disobedience and your rejection of me, I will scatter you across the world and you will suffer many, many trials. And sure enough, the whole Jewish state gets, Israel is eliminated, the Jewish state's eliminated, and the Jews are spread across the world. They go through the Holocaust, and people have been hating on them ever since, like more than they hate on anybody else, for sure. And then he says, later in Ezekiel, I will regather you back into your land in disbelief. Right? Israel's reformed in 1948, but the Jews are still in disbelief because I'm gonna put a veil over your eyes so that you cannot see the truth. So, and that's exactly what's happening. And then he says, all these countries are going to come against you, and I'm going to defend you, not for your sake, but to make to the world that I am God, and to make to you that I am God, and make it very plain, and it's no denying it. And then I will lift the veil, and you will come into belief. And at that time, basically, is the rapture. The Christians are gone, and now the Jews are going to be converting over to Christianity, essentially, or a lot of them. Some of them won't. But this is what the Bible says is going to happen. And it's what's happened. Yeah. All of this has happened except the final part, which is what it looks like is happening. No surprise to me if Russia comes against Israel, Turkey comes against Israel, and Iran already obviously is. Yeah. And once those three are in it, that's exactly what it says is happening. That's the final prophecy of the end of the age. So we're getting right towards the end. And if that end comes and you haven't accepted Jesus, it's hell. Yeah. That's the requirement. That's the only requirement. You got to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and that he died for your sins, and repent of your sins, and then you got a ticket to heaven. If you don't have that, you don't. And logically, not faith aside, logically, the Bible, it said all these things would happen, and it is exactly what happened. It wrote them before the Israels were spread across the world. This was written thousands of years, or probably 1,000 years before that even happened. Yeah. And it happened. And I will reform you. And it happened. Right? So logically, just on a logic sense, it's hard to deny the accuracy of the Bible, because the things it said were going to happen happened with Israel. And now the things it says are going to happen look like they're happening right before our eyes. So to me, it looks like we're really close, but I can't say it for 100% because only God knows. Yeah. But I would not take that risk with my eternal salvation. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely, it just can't be a coincidence. For sure, it's a spiritual battle that's going on right now.
It's exactly what it is. And I needed to put that in this podcast because, God doesn't want anybody to miss out. It's your choice. So for me, as a believer, I need to put that in there because I don't want anybody to miss out either. So take it for what it is. But if anybody doubts it, then read Ezekiel. Right? Read it. It's like reading history that's already happened, and it was written before any of these things happened. And most of the things in there have happened exactly the way they were written, and they were written before these things even existed.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
And so the things that the final thing that's going to happen with Iran, Russia, and Turkey, and the other not 7 nations that are going to go against Israel, which were more minor players, it's all written in there. If all the other things happened exactly the way it said it was going to happen by God, you can go ahead and count on the other ones are going to happen. And it says when this happens, it's game on. Jesus is coming back. He's going to take his back. And the rest of the people are left here. And it's going to be hell on earth. And then you can still convert, but it's going to be super hard, because if you do convert, they're basically going to kill you is what it says. So you're going to have to go through a ridiculous torture or death to make it to heaven at that point. You can avoid that.
Yeah.
So there, I said what I had to say because
it's all good, bro.
This is really, when you get down to everything we've been talking about on this entire podcast is all because of spiritual stuff. It's the unseen that's there, but it's very clear that it is there because you can see how people are being influenced by good and evil. It's very clear.
No, yeah, I definitely believe it's for sure spiritual. And I mean, if obviously if Satan's involved, he has his
He is.
demons. He has his demons on Earth pushing his agenda. If most people would picture a demon, just looking like a horrible monster, but I think there might be different forms of demons that we could actually, how could you say, just think are normal looking or normal in society. But here's one example. I think I sent you this one, but if this wouldn't be a messenger from hell, I don't know what the hell is.
Something weird about conservatives.
There is almost
Right.
a cultish vibe, I feel. The way they operate within themselves, they refuse to listen to outside people, they're refusing to learn, essentially. I think that is a large part of it.
I mean,
what else? You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say.
There's
I'm not
something
saying
weird
he's a
about
demon. He could be,
There
but
is
No,
a-
but who
he's
like a message? He's definitely being used. He could be used, and
he's definitely being manipulated by evil.
yeah,
So
you know what I mean?
demons, spiritual beings, you don't see, right? They can take human form, and there are in the Bible, there's watchers. So those are essentially spiritual beings, or you can call them angels, but they're actually called watchers. But they're spiritual beings that are here on Earth, and a lot of times they do take human form.
No.
And so demons can do the same thing, but generally they're more behind the scenes and unseen and just pushing,
No.
right? The good are pushing the good, the bad are pushing the bad, right? And wherever you land, if you're in Christ, then you're being guided and protected by the Holy Spirit. If you're not, then you're open to the demonic forces that can push you in but it's not like it's out in the open. However, he could very well be a demon in flesh. He could be, but he's clearly lost his mind.
Yeah.
Right? The guy's dressed up like a clown, got clown face. I mean, I don't need to describe the picture.
I
Anybody
don't
can
know
see
if it was
that.
a girl, but yeah, he's like his boobs are cut off, or I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know.
Or
can't tell.
whatever it is.
Yeah,
Whatever we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
Whatever we're looking at there is clearly being manipulated by evil. Like you
I would
cannot say, and he says the right has a cultish mindset, bro.
Yeah.
Do you have a mirror?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah,
Right?
I think that was the
It
whole
doesn't
point of
get
the
more-
video. Yeah.
It doesn't get more cultish than your appearance.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I
your
would just say
appearance preach.
demon-like, because I guess the whole I think the whole purpose of a demon would be to be deceptive and manipulative. You know what I mean? Towards the wrong direction. So they just take different forms. So whether he's really a demon or not, I don't know. He's probably just being used. And
Well, I would say, okay, so I think it looks like this. So the spiritual beings are here. They've always been here, right? And the demon ones, for most of history, have not been so out in your face with it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a demon, but I'm saying they would push people to evil in more subtle ways because society wouldn't accept what you're looking at right there with that person.
well,
Any other time in history, people would not accept that guy on the street. They would do something about it, right?
yeah.
But now Satan has such a grip on the world and is so successful that they're emboldened to actually push people into things like these displays of demonic things. And so because they've been able to over time push people more and more and more away from God and towards Satan, now it's so close to people accepting Satan and evil that they're able to be this out in your face with it. The demons are. So this is probably just a human being being manipulated by demonic forces like they've always been. Just the demonic forces are now saying, are going, hey, we've got it to a point. It's a progression over time to where we've gotten society so bankrupt of morals and so sinful that we can actually have people like this walking on the streets and it will be accepted.
Yeah, exactly. Here's one more real quick. But it just kind of catches you off guard. But yeah, we just accept this as normal now.
College Democrats. You're the president of College Democrats.
Yep. That's
how you feeling about the enthusiasm? Your name and how you feeling?
My name is Rose, and I'm feeling great. This is going to be a great debate. Oh, sorry, I touched you there. I'm so enthusiastic. Walls is going to do so well.
All right, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. I really appreciate talking to you guys, Rachel. They got me the College Democrats.
So that's MSNBC's.
College Democrats.
Yep. That's
how you feeling about the enthusiasm? Your name?
I think even the reporters like, I got to get the hell away from you.
Right, and this is,
you're freaking me out.
This is Satan on full display. Right, it's gotten to the point of such degradation in society towards the side of Satan that Satan's like, hey, I can be out in the open with it now. I'll put it right in your face. Yeah. And he's not putting in our face to go, ha. He's putting in our face to get more people on board with it, to make it acceptable. Yeah. Satan's the great deceiver. Jesus is the truth. Satan is the lie.
Yeah. And
so the lie is right out on your streets, in your face. You got a man there named Rose, right? I'm a man wearing lipstick, and I name myself Rose, and whatever. I think I'm a woman. I don't know. But this is, I mean, human beings would not come up with this stuff.
Yeah.
Right? This is demonic, obviously. So my point is like when I was telling the whole story of Ezekiel and Israel, right? And how obvious it is that the Bible is literally telling you step by step what's going to happen, and it's all happened except for the final stage. So obviously we're obviously close. Now, how far away from that to the end, I don't know. How much longer that will be? It could be today. It could be 100 years. I don't know. But it's most of the stuff's already happened. But I lost my point there. I got stuck on Ezekiel.
Well, for sure, all the influence, everything that led to this, it has to have demonic origins, man. Like, even Candace Owens, she's been investigating, like, the origins of Satanism, and yeah, man, Satanism is actually more
prevalent.
Yeah, more prevalent than we've ever thought about. Like, most like a lot of people, basically in militaries and science. They were all like definite Satanists, Satan worshippers. So for it to eventually, decades later, result in what we're seeing right now, it's obvious. It's all.
Well, I was gonna say like the people on the streets, like these people we're looking at, and it's all over the world. This sort of stuff on your streets, which would never been acceptable in human history, is just another sign to you that, hey, the end is close. You got people literally walking around looking like demons, acting bizarre, right?
No.
So it's right in your face that the end is close. I mean, it really is. And people have thought this throughout history. Oh, well, this must be the end of the world, World War II or whatever, which made sense, right? But you didn't see stuff like this ever.
Yeah.
Like, and you might have had like little niches where you can go to a particular sort of fetish place in history where there was weird shit like this going on. But this is everywhere in your street. This is mainstream accepted behavior now. It is in your face that mankind has gone so far towards Satan and evil that it's on your streets, in your face, and accepted by the mainstream now. God is coming real soon. We are right there, and everywhere you look, you can see it. You can read the Bible, you can see what's going on with Israel. You can watch these crazy people on the streets like this, and it's funny too. Is like I always trip out on people who are like Satanists. I can understand atheists, like I don't believe in God, or an agnostic. I don't know. Okay, yeah. Right? I can kind of understand that, but if you believe in Satan, you believe in God. Why would you choose the losing side?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if God created Satan, then Satan loses. Like Satan is just an angel that fell, but he was a high up angel. He's the equivalent of like Michael the archangel. They're like synonymous in their power, essentially. God made all of that. So I'm gonna choose the one who's less than and is gonna lose, because he's gonna lose. Because if you believe in Satan and you believe in God, then the Bible must be true.
Yeah.
The Bible tells you who wins. Why? Just logically, why in the world how dumb do you got to be to say, you know what? I'm going to choose the losing team.
No.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Like, it's just dumb.
I've just always figured that maybe if these people are Satanists and they've been worshiping this long, and it influences other, like people to become Satanists, even like the richest people, that they might feel that they're being rewarded with materialistic things.
Well, that is absolute truth, that
know?
Satan will reward you like that, because he definitely does give a lot of people rich, and that's why you see him, the Grammy Awards, whatever, all these different award shows, all these Satan and the Olympics, all these satanic imagery.
Yeah,
is because these people have been rewarded for their sin.
Yeah.
Financially, fame-wise, etc. That's happened with a lot of people. So it's absolutely true that Satan does operate in that way.
Yeah, that's what I figure. That's why they all lean towards it, and why it's in Hollywood, it's in the music industry, and it's because they're being rewarded through materialistic and sinful things, I guess. So.
And I think, some people, they don't really understand it. Like, they'll go there and they'll be rewarded by Satan because they're acting in completely morally bankrupt. And so Satan's, yeah, okay, I'll reward you. And maybe they don't really believe, but they're just doing it, right? And they don't really quite get it. But it's the people who literally come out and say, hey, I worship Satan. So that means you believe in God.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. You know who wins. I mean, it's so over the top dumb.
No.
But I mean, if you're like saying, "Hey, I'll trade eternity for a speck of time on earth for what you can give me here, sex, money, power, fame, whatever. Yeah. I'll trade eternity. I'll sell my soul for a few dollars." Is really what they're saying, which is like, really? Okay. Good luck with that, man. I hope God gets to you and turns you around. You know what I mean? I want all these people to be saved. Like the guy who's dressed up like a clown. I don't have any animosity towards him. He's being, manipulated by Satan. But I want God to bless him and show him the light and turn him. Yeah. Everybody. No, it's not too late for anybody. It doesn't matter what you've done. All sins are equal. It doesn't matter. So anybody can be saved at any time as long as you got breath. But once that breath runs out, your time's out. You don't have it. You're not going to be able to make a choice anymore, and you're going one way or the other. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. What's it called? On that tip, I got this clip I downloaded. This black pastor, and there's a bunch of just pastors from black churches and stuff like that saying the same thing. They sum it all up. So let me play a little clip of it. It's this one's 4 minutes and 50, but let me just play the beginning of it.
The Democratic Party, I'm going to say it tonight so that you won't be confused, is the Antichrist Party. It is anti-family. And I'm going to say this, you're not going to believe it, but...
Oh, shit. Let's stop that right there. Go.
You are only needed for votes. You are only loved when it's time to get your votes. There's no real care about you. And see, we still stuck, and we got that thing ingrained in us that this is the party for the black man. It is not. The party has changed. Black people, really, to be honest with you, have never been the priority. They have only been used. Go back and look at the Civil Rights Act of 1964. We've all given Democrats credit for that, But Johnson was the one that wanted to pass it, but he couldn't get enough Democrat votes to pass it. It was the Republicans that pushed and passed the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Go tonight and look it up. Look at Wiki, W-I-K-I, put it in there, 1960. He couldn't even get enough Democrats to vote for it. So he had to go to Republican senators in order to help him out. They are anti-life. The party pushes stuff that's anti-life. It pushes anti-morality because most of their policies are immoral, that pushes sexual perversion. It is the party of death. Why do you say that, Pastor? If you go back, you'll see slavery started with the Democratic Party. And we saw many slaves that died. We also saw under Jim Crow. Jim Crow was established by Democrats. And we saw under Jim Crow how many were hung and lynched. And then we are seeing today how many babies. African American people are giving up their future because they won't have, in another 15, 20 years, they won't have enough people because they have cut their birth rates off and have aborted their children. This is exactly what the party wants. So it is a party of death when it comes down to it. It is a party that is against black families. Look at the history of the family. From slavery, which were Democrat plantation owners, in slavery, they separated our families. They would not even acknowledge the marriages of black families. They would even take a black man over here who you are only needed for. It is a party of death. 1900s, 1920, 30, our families were pretty good and pretty strong during that time. But what happened was they bought the war on poverty. This was Democrat. Bought the war on poverty. You know what they did? They gave money to fix a problem. So they had programs, they gave welfare, but they took one key out that they understood was the key to the family. They took the man out of the home. Ladies, we'll give you the money, but you can't have a man in your house. That means the children now were robbed of them having a father. And so that kept, once again, another policy that has hurt our families. And then even today, Black Lives Matter, which was also supported by the Democratic Party, they had in their particular policies that they were against the nuclear family that had the father at the head. They did not believe in patriarchy. And so we look down through the years and we've seen the party destroy our families. And people don't see it because they don't understand truth. This is why policy is so important, because it should be about America first. That's like all of you in your homes, your home, your children, and what you're responsible for has got to be first before you go and try to help everybody else. So we need to take, in order to be a blessing to other citizens from other nations, we got to take care of America first.
Yeah, I thought he did a pretty good job, man.
Yeah. I couldn't, amen.
But there's a bunch of videos like that, man. So, it just goes along with every demographic is going for Trump. So they could keep pushing the narrative that the polls show that they're tied, but I think this time around, I forgot who I was telling. In 2020 when they stole the election, Trump was alone. He was completely alone. You know what I mean? He only had his inner circle that believed him. But this time around, if they try to steal it, he's gonna have Robert Kennedy that's gonna see it. Elon Musk is gonna see it. All these demographics, everybody's gonna be watching. So if they try to steal it, it's either gonna be blatant or I don't know how they could do it, or they're just not gonna be able to. You know what I mean? So Trump has to win.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
If they do that, you're right. The light's going to be shined on it way more, and you're going to get a completely different response this time. But
yeah,
but I can't imagine they won't try. I know they're going to try. but whether they're successful or not, I mean, because like the one thing that too big to rig, yeah, okay, that's valid. I mean, because it does look like it's too big to rig. Trump could literally he could win almost every single state. He's even going for New York.
Yeah.
He's like the other day said, "I'm making a play for New York," and why not? Like Democrats are destroying your state, and people are fed up with it. So it might be too big to rig, hopefully, but they're definitely going to try to rig it, and that's why they keep pushing the narrative and rigging the polls so that people will think that it's close, so that they have a chance of rigging it and people aren't surprised. Hey, like I said, you go to a Trump rally, you got thousands, tens of thousands of people. You go to a Kamala Harris rally, and the only people there are people they bust in for the most part and paid. Like, did you hear that somebody did their research on the metadata on these people that are going to Kamala Harris rallies?
The cell phones?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I was going to bring that up. Yeah,
80% of them are coming out of Georgia, and they're going to like Michigan. So she'll have a rally in Michigan, and 80% of the attendees are Georgians. Why would 80% of the audience be from Georgia? And they figured this out through cell phone data.
Yeah.
And so we have solid proof that they can't get anybody hardly to show up to her rallies. And
so they're busting them in. Yeah.
Trump doesn't have to do anything but show up, and tens of thousands of people will show up.
No.
So how could it possibly be close?
When I saw that cell phone data post, I put on there, man, that this has to go viral. This right here is everything, because it shows that even at a rallies, like nobody's showing up. They're busing in people, and it's the same people like over and over. Like they're paid actors basically, that are showing up. So,
and like even when you look at that video you showed of her rally, I don't know if you noticed, but you did. But I noticed. Oh, nobody's wearing Kamala Harris. Nobody has anything on that says Harris, Waltz, nothing. Or very few people. You look at the Trump rallies. Everybody's got Trump stuff on. So these people aren't actually supporters. They're paid actors that are just paid to be there. Because if they were actually supporters, who goes to a presidential rally for their candidate and doesn't wear their hat, their T-shirt, something?
Hey, right. They're all random.
Right.
All of them.
And you don't see, like, look what they're wearing. Like,
they look like they just walked in from off the street. Like,
right. Yeah, it's just people who they pay to go there, because now I don't see one person wearing anything that says Harris on it.
Yeah.
Right. And if you look at, like, I watched more of these videos where you look at the crowds, like the lines outside, and these people they bus in, you'll see maybe 1%, 2% of people that have a Harris T-shirt or hat on.
Yeah.
Look at a Trump rally. Every one of them, every single person has a Trump hat on or a Trump shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So even if these are Harris supporters, they ain't really that enthusiastic about it. I ain't even buying the shirt. Right. I ain't gonna buy the shirt. So this isn't close. This is all fake, manipulated bullcrap. These people behind her, and then they clap for nothing. Her teleprompter goes down, and she goes, 32, 32, 32. Hey, we're gonna do it, and then they're all like, "Yeah!"
Well, you hear cheering from somewhere, but the people behind her don't even react. They don't even know how to react to.
Right, because they're told when to clap, and like, I don't know. I was on a game show, or not a game show, but I was in a game show audience when I was a kid, and like what they do there, you're in the audience, and they have people there, and they'll tell you when to clap. They hold up a sign that says "clap" when they want you to clap. Yeah. And so that's the same thing that's going on at her rally. She says nothing that makes any sense, and then the people just start clapping because she's like, 32, yeah, it's 32, it's 32. She's like, and we're gonna do it. And then they hold the sign, clap, and they clap.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. Right? When they did cheer, it didn't even really. Yeah, it didn't make sense with what she said. It was like she didn't say anything exciting.
It makes sense. We're going to do it. In other words, we're going to win. But it's not really like she didn't make any good, strong point. Like, the enthusiasm didn't match what she said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's fake enthusiasm that they're being prompted. Hey, you want your paycheck? It's time to clap. And they're so stupid. Why didn't you give them shirts?
Yeah.
Right? They don't. And it comes back to the whole lazy thing. You know, they're lazy and cheap. They don't want to pay for the shirts and have them put them on. But it's a stupid move because it makes it ridiculously obvious. If you're going to spend the time and money out of your life to go to a rally because you're that enthusiastic for this candidate, you're going to buy the shirt or a hat or something. You're gonna, you're gonna go in there jazzed up, wearing something. I'm in support of Harris. I check out my shirt. You know what I mean? You're gonna be proud of that, enthusiastic about it. You don't see that because it's fake.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if I bet I didn't do this, but I bet if you go back to any other presidential election times where they had rallies or whatever for any candidates, I'll bet like Obama. I'll bet you see all kinds of people with Obama shirts on. Clinton, I'll bet you see all kinds of Clinton shirts. Bush, I'll bet you see all kinds of that. Yeah. Harris, you don't see it. Why not? What's different? That's what's actually normal, natural behavior of people. This is artificial.
Yeah. Well, hopefully in the next 3 weeks, man, they put an emphasis on that. The fact that she's got fake followers, and you just look at her crowds and focus on that metadata. And just start proving that there's no path for her victory, no path for her to win.
There's literally videos of buses coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, show me a presidential election where you have buses of people coming in like that, of Obama, Biden, anybody. I mean, I could see that maybe a town is like, hey, we're going to get together and get a bus together so we can all go together. I could see that happening. But that would be like more of an individual town that would do that. This is like the majority of her audience, almost all of them, come in on buses. That is not normal, right?
No.
And then they don't wear any of her gear. Like, it's just stupidly obvious.
Yeah.
And like, there's a video also where, like, when Trump went to that one restaurant and he got all that great reaction and everything, then she tried to do it, and the people are standing on the corner as her motorcade goes by, and then there's a bunch of vans full of people going by, and the people on the street are videoing it, and they're saying, they kicked us out of this restaurant. We were customers in there. They made us leave so they could bust these people in to be fake supporters for Kamala Harris and fake customers.
Yeah.
And it's on video. And people will still go that support this candidate will still go, yeah, but I don't care. Well, so you're telling me you're fine with people lying to you, deceiving you, manipulating you. How does that work in your life? Like, your husband or wife lies, manipulates, deceives you. You're fine with that. Your children, your friends, your family, anybody, your boss, anybody. You're fine with that anywhere else in your life? Nope. You're going to call them out on that every time. But the president of the United States, the person running for president of the United States, you're okay with that. The reason you're okay with that is because you've been propagandized by everything possible. News media, your schools, your work, social media, TV shows. Everything is propaganda. And so you've actually been brainwashed into believing that this person lying to you is okay, when you won't let anybody else in your life get away with that. Why would you do that? Because you don't know what you're doing, because you've been brainwashed by propaganda.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, that person I saw yesterday, just saying that most of the people he keeps hearing that are Kamala supporters, it's because they just hate Trump. So
brainwashed.
Yeah.
Right? They've been brainwashed into believing that Trump's is all these different things that they accuse him of. And they've all been debunked. It's all bullshit.
I was looking at the how many votes Biden and Trump got in 2020. I thought it was 60 million that Trump got, but he got 75 million.
Right.
So,
and they probably even more, because they probably throwing some of those in the trash.
Yeah. So
he's the only sitting president who got more votes on his second run that didn't win. And the guy who beat him is a mannequin. Like, right? Like, even if it wasn't, Like even if he wasn't brain dead, right? Or have dementia or Alzheimer's, right? Even put that aside. Let's say he's not. He has no damn personality. Like he's not interesting. He doesn't instill enthusiasm in people. Obama did. I
Yeah.
could see Obama getting crowds, no problem. That guy's got charisma. This
Yeah.
guy doesn't have any charisma, yet he got more votes than anybody ever, including Obama,
Yeah.
right? And there ain't nobody who supports Obama, Biden, Harris that would disagree with this. Obama is way more charismatic than Biden.
Yeah.
Biden's probably the least charismatic person I've ever seen run for office. So you're telling me that it wasn't rigged, but the guy who has the least amount of charisma got way more votes than the guy that has the most amount of charisma. Or that's what Democrats would say. Obama has the most amount, and that's arguable. He's right there. He had a lot of charisma. So I could see Obama winning no problem. I can't see Biden beating anybody, much less he beat Obama.
Yeah, no shit.
How's that possible? That is proof that it's rigged. There's no way this guy got more votes than Obama. He's just like the mannequin in the room. While everybody else has personality and character, he's nothing. And the only thing, and every once in a while, he'll say, no, it's no malarkey, folks. That's the extent of his charisma.
Yeah. So I was gonna say basically that, I mean, even if that's in somewhat some percentage true that Trump got 75 million, that's his starting number this time around too. But I think this year he's going, further
He'll
than
break
that.
100.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it has to be. It has to be. He has to break at least 90. You know what I mean? So I think that's what they're scared of. You know what I mean? The fact that the same people that voted for him in 2020, even after COVID, even after the lockdowns and the economy going down for a couple of once or twice, they still that many people voted for him. They still had that confidence in him. So this time around, that's the number that's his starting point number. So and now with him convincing every demographic now, that he's the way, and seeing, what Kamala and Biden had to offer, he has to, for sure, at least get close to 100. Has anybody ever even done that? Gotten that much?
No, Biden has the most votes of anybody ever. It was
Yeah. You're right. So
Biden, out of all the presidents that have ever run, this is the most charismatic, most intriguing public figure the United States has ever known.
Yeah.
According to the votes, he is the man. Like there is nobody that ever inspired the American public more than Biden.
No.
And that's what the votes say, which is obviously a lie because it was rigged. There's no way this guy is the most inspirational and charismatic person that ever ran for president in the United States history. There's zero chance that's true. Now, you can't go back too far because the population will drop and you're not going to have as many votes. But we can go back to at least Clinton, Obama, or Bush, right? That era, or even maybe Reagan. Yeah. Go back that far where we still had quite a big population, relatively similar.
Mm-hmm.
And he beat all of them. He beat Reagan. He beat Clinton. He beat Bush. He beat Bush 2. He beat Obama. He beat everybody. And every one of those people on their worst day is more inspiring and charismatic than Biden.
Yeah.
So how is that possible? The only way that's possible is if it's rigged. Just logically. Argue that with me, Democrat. He has to have more inspiration and charisma than Obama. Is that true? The votes, you guys are defending that it's true, but you don't even believe it. Because that's what the votes say, but you don't even believe it.
I saw another report that they're thinking that this might be a tactic that they used in 2020, that they're trying again, is overseas Americans, people that are not living here, that still have the right to vote, that some sort of census is trying to claim that there's 9 million like non U.S. territory living Americans that have a right to vote, but they've I guess they did some sort of audit and that the actual number is like 3 million. So they're thinking that they're using that shit to create votes by inflating that number. So they cracked down on that already. I keep seeing that they're for sure looking at all the voter rolls. They keep refreshing them and eliminating a bunch of ineligible voters or names, people that are dead, people that are just not eligible for different reasons. So
Hey, hang on.
they're doing a
Did you
lot of
just
stuff.
say people can't vote?
Yeah,
Oh man, that's bigoted, brother.
yeah.
Why? Just because you're dead, you can't vote? Well, what's wrong with you? But I mean, seriously, I could literally hear them saying that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's a little much, but still, it's gotten to the point where someone might say that.
Well, the voter roll angle is something that I don't remember them bringing up at all. I don't know. Have you ever heard like that? Like anybody making a big deal about that? Like in any previous election, voter
Of the
rolls?
foreign vote or the people
No, just
outside the US?
voter rolls in general.
Yeah, I've heard this stuff before where dead people are voting.
No,
But
yeah. But I'm saying just literally the word voter roll. Like I don't remember that even being brought up. Voter rolls, that they have to look at the voter rolls and clear up the voter rolls. So
yeah, no, this is not a new thing, but it takes on a bigger life now because this last election was definitely rigged, and there were probably multiple ways they did it. This being one of them, but the main way was, like I said in previous podcasts, and it was a good plan. All you do is you go to the battleground states and Democrat-held cities, and you rig it in those cities because you control those cities. This is a battleground state, so we know it's going to be close, and that's true. They would be close. And so when later in the night, when you start getting the results in, if it looks like Trump's winning, then you stop the voting. I've never seen an election where they stopped the voting, ever.
yeah, no shit.
This one, they stopped it in 6 states, and they were all battleground states and all in cities that were Democrat run, right? And then they just rigged those cities. So every state that stopped voting was a battleground state, which makes sense because it's going to be close. And they're like, well, we don't want to count through the night. I understand that. And maybe that's happened before, but it's not like a bunch of states do it. You might have one. But it was only in Democrat cities where they stopped counting. No Republican cities stopped counting.
Yeah.
Red counties. It was just the blue counties that stopped counting. And then all of a sudden, all those states that Trump was leading, he now lost.
Yeah.
After they stopped counting in the Democrat-held cities. I mean, it's blatantly obvious. That was the main thrust of how they did it. And I'm sure they did a lot of other things like stuffing the ballots, having people stuff ballots out, the walk-up ballots or whatever, polling stations that are not manned, using overseas, inflating those numbers. I'm sure there was a lot of different methods they used, but I think the main one was that. Because that one just makes a lot of sense. It's actually a really smart plan. And it worked. I mean, the president of the United States that we have right now was not elected. I can say that with complete confidence. The person in the White House did not win an election. And the person running right now, no one voted for. And they just nominated her to be president, even though she got 0 votes. No one's voted for her. And even when she ran for president, she got 0 delegates. She was the first one to drop out of all the Democrats because she sucked that bad. And now the system has said, nope, this is going to be your candidate. We know you don't want her. That's been proven through the Democrat primaries. When she ran against Biden, she was the first one out. She didn't get any votes. That's how bad the American people thought of her. And so they said, well, you know what? We don't need you to vote for her. We'll just install her, and then we'll rig the general election, and you guys don't decide who president is. We do.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think you are? You think you're free? Come on. This is America, run by billionaires. With no moral.
I'm trying to see if I could find I saw like a map of how many states that they based on information now that they think Trump's already going to win. It's like the majority of the country.
I mean, honestly, like I said, if it's not rigged, I could see him winning at least 40 states.
Let me see. Right there.
And now Waltz is like, hey, we need to get rid of the Electoral College.
Oh yeah, you saw that? Yes.
Fucking communist.
Yeah, no shit, man. Some guy was on that Mel K show last night. Some Australian. He wrote a book, and I guess he has all kinds of information that basically, that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were chosen for their communist-leaning views and shit. It's undeniable that they're communists, and
right.
that the reason that Tim Walz was chosen over that guy Shapiro, I guess those were the two people that Kamala could have chosen.
Yeah.
Wasn't for the reason that they're saying that Shapiro was because he's Jewish. It would alienate, the Palestinian protesters and all that shit and make Kamala look bad. But it was more because Tim Walz is such a communist. He's so pro-China that it just like they have more confidence in him to fulfill their agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see this one right here?
Yeah.
So this is basically what they're projecting.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, that looks like a legitimate truth right there. No. But will it be that way? Probably not, because they're going to rig some stuff. So we'll see.
I don't know if this is
freaking California, man.
Yeah.
Dumbest people in the country, and this is where we live. And so I can tell you firsthand, dumbest people in the world. Like, hey, our state is a shithole now. Literally, we live here, we know, and people still are voting for it. You can't afford anything, right? And it's that way across the country, but California is even worse. Yeah. Like gas here is like $5 a gallon. I mean, everything is like, you want an apartment here, you can get a crappy ass apartment for like $2,000, 1 bedroom, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, everything is just ridiculous here, and the people here are still like, yeah, I'm voting for Gavin Newsom. Why? Do you like torturing yourself?
Oh shit!
Like, we have the most resources of the entire country. We're the most economically strong state in the country, and we're broke and in debt and got homeless. We got 30% of the entire country's homeless are here. It's like zombies walking around on our streets.
Yeah.
It's a mess here, but the people that live here will still vote for this nightmare. It's a trip.
Elon Musk pointed something out the other day that I thought was interesting. That what they're planning to do with all these illegal migrants that they let in, Trump thinks it's probably like 30 million that they let in, is to change the electoral map of the whole country to kind of, and they're sending them everywhere. But Musk pointed out that that's exactly what happened in California. That when Reagan naturalized all those citizens in the 80s, that it sort of backfired. That right after that, Democrats started taking over because Democrats were, they're pushing all the welfare state and all that stuff like that. So people just started voting more Democrats, and everybody got stuck on the idea that Democrats care more for minorities and stuff like that, not realizing that in reality it's just a manipulation thing. So yeah,
and I could see if I was a minority and I lived in California and the Democrats were like, hey, we're going to help you guys out. I can see how people could go for that.
Yeah.
Right. But it's been decades, and especially recent history in California, where we're all living the same nightmare. Your ethnicity doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Either you're rich or you're screwed here.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter. They're not for anybody but the rich here and in the country, but especially here, it's obvious. But even though they're living this nightmare, they're still clinging to the fact, well, the Democrats will help us out because we're our skin color.
Yeah.
No, okay, if that was the case, why are you in the shit situation you're in?
Yeah.
Right? If that was true, you wouldn't have ridiculous prices at the grocery store, unaffordable rent, unaffordable gas, all these things that they say they're going to help you with because of your skin color. You're just as screwed as the people with different skin color. We're all in the same boat because it's not about that. That's a lie they sell, because all they care about is themselves, their money, their power, the 1%. And everybody, it's not 1%. They don't care what color you are. You're just a tool to get them richer and richer.
Yeah.
And you're buying it at your own cost. Like it's ruining and causing your life to be miserable, and you vote for it.
Yeah.
Like that to me is like, how much does it take? How much punishment and terrible conditions do you have to experience before you say, okay, this isn't working? Like, it should have been a long time ago.
Yeah.
But this state will still vote for Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom and say, I want more of that terrible stuff. I want it to get worse. It's not bad enough yet. Please give me more bad stuff, because I know you love me because I'm brown or I'm black or whatever it may be. If they loved you, they wouldn't do that to you.
Well, so speaking of which, did you see any of the? Have you heard of this guy? Fuck, I forgot his name now. The guy that's running for Senate against damn, I forgot both of the damn names.
In California?
In California.
Steve Garvey?
Steve Garvey against, what's the guy's name? Adam Schiff. You see any
God.
of their debate?
The most pathological liar ever.
Well,
I didn't see the debate, but
well, Steve Garvey did pretty good, man. He went at him. Well, here, I got a clip real
Steve
quick.
Garvey seems pretty legit.
Well, when the primary that they had a few months ago for like all the candidates, because I guess this is like a runoff or some shit like that. I don't know how it works like that. Like the top two have to debate. Or,
Right. They have another one.
I thought he did. I don't think he did too good, but during this debate, man, he went at Adam Schiff.
Well, Schiff beat him in the original primaries where it came down to those two. Schiff beat him handily.
In the debate or voting?
No. In the election, like they already had one election and then to narrow it down to the two.
But did you see how that I remember how that played out, man? The same thing that happened in 2020. They stopped the counting, the voting. Like they didn't have like a final number. It just slowed the hell down because Steve Garvey was winning by a lot, and then Adam Schiff. No doubt that Rick. Yeah, I should have saved some of those clips. Yeah, it was like the same shit, and I was even like commenting like on the Republican Party like accounts, like how come nobody's just talking about California? Like they're doing something shady right now. Like they haven't even counted the votes, and Adam Schiff was down by a lot. Steve Garvey was up by I don't know how many, but so anyway, here, let me play.
This is California, man. This is a little off that, but it's kind of what I was saying before about like how minorities feel like Democrats support them. So, you probably know this story. About 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, the LA City Council, you have it's basically Latino, and these Latinos were caught on a hidden recording, and I don't know, it was like 4 of them. But they were talking about black people, like they were calling them monkeys, and talking about Asian people, gay people. They were going. They were racist and bigoted left and right.
I think it was Bal Gardens, no? I think it was.
No, it was LA City Council.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the city council for the second biggest state in the country. Now, one guy ended up resigning, but he didn't have to. Mm-hmm. The rest of them are still on the city council. They still hold their jobs, and they can call black people monkeys. And I forgot what they called the Asian people, but and then they were talking about somebody else's kid who has Down syndrome and calling retard. I don't know. It was bad.
Yeah.
Right. But this is totally acceptable in California. You are fine to be a bigoted racist as long as you're not white. If those were white city council members, the city would have burned. And this is how brainwashed they have this place. And so now you have the community is saying, you know what? I'm Latino, they're Latino. I don't care. But I thought you guys were like, hey, these white people are racist. We got to get rid of them, right? And there were some in whatever. But where's your principles? They fall apart when it's someone that's the same color as you. But this is how California is run. It's like it's so corrupt that the city council of the second biggest city in the country can be openly racist and bigoted and keep their jobs, no problem.
No.
Right? How is that possible if like you watch the NFL game and it says end racism? Why isn't anybody talking about this? Right? You got racist in City Hall and no one's talking about it. And the reason they're not talking about it is because they're the wrong color racist.
Yeah.
Which makes all those people fucking racist. If you support that, right? Like it's ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, I don't get rid of anybody's racist. Racism's stupid. God made everybody and God don't make mistakes. You're all God's children. And so your skin color, whatever's going on with you, God did that. And so it's not for me to question.
Yeah.
But that's a really good example. This is California.
Well, I mean, it's possible that the California model is a template for what they want to do to the whole country. You know, like just it's the fifth biggest economy in the world.
Yeah,
but yet the amount of
it was the seventh. I've seen different numbers, but it's gigantic,
something like that. But yet
we're in debt, and we're in debt.
Yeah, and the amount of poverty, the amount of crime, throughout the decades, just the level of poverty that's led to the gang culture, like throughout the whole state.
California is destroyed, and the only thing that's left here that's worthwhile is the weather. And as soon as I retire, I can't wait to leave California. And I've lived here my whole life, and I've seen it over decades. And it used to be so great. And now it's just a horrible place to live. Other than we got sunshine. That's it.
Wow.
And if they could mess that up, they would. I'm surprised the sun isn't racist or something. They come up with some, or are they taxing sunlight or something?
Yeah, no shit.
We're gonna have a sunny day tax.
Hey, real quick, speaking of racist, did you see that exchange between some chick named Aisha Mills, a Democratic strategist, with I don't know who this guy is, but I thought he did a shitty job, man, trying to defend himself. Check this out, man. It's gonna make you really mad. Oh crap, brother, I just lost it. Okay, here. Oh, where the hell is it not playing? Damn it, it's not playing.
Yeah, there's no volume.
Oh wait, I know why.
That's why, David. That's why.
Because
okay, and I'm not going to be lectured by some white man who has no idea what he's talking about and is trying to rewrite history here.
Aisha,
I am
shame
afraid,
on you, Aisha.
as an American,
Aaron.
of a Donald Trump presidency and his actual quotes
Shame
are
on you,
why.
Aisha.
Because I take him seriously, and I think that he believes what he says, and that is why he is a danger and a threat to America.
Aaron, you can't have a rational discussion.
I appreciate
about topics.
Yeah. And so who's the racist there?
This,
watch what she says.
Let's talk about Kamala Harris.
Makes me really concerned.
Let's talk about Kamala Harris.
I can't hear, so I can't even follow along. Why the hell can't I hear it?
I hear it.
Hold on 1 second, bro. Okay, put it there. There you go. You hear that?
I don't hear it now, but I already heard it.
Oh, now you don't hear it? Oh crap! What the hell?
No.
Well, she goes on a rant, basically calling Trump Hitler.
Yeah.
Like and just flat out just saying, oh yeah, he has a book of Mein Kampf on his dresser, and just calling him straight out that he that he admires Hitler and Adolf Hitler, and he's gonna be the next Hitler. Oh, and because I guess Trump made some sort of quick comment about genes, about the criminals that are coming, and he said something like, oh, those bad genes coming over here, and he's obviously talking about murderers and stuff like that. But
Right.
she's taking that as, oh, now Trump's a eugenist, and he wants to eliminate certain people with bad genes. He wants to kill us, and just going all out. And the guy, I don't know who he is. He starts trying to defend Trump, but he's like flabbergasted by what she says, and he's like, I can't believe this. And he's trying to tell Aaron Burnett, how are you getting? Because the first thing he says is like, I'm going to try hard not to cuss. And I don't know how you're trying to allow this person to say these things. And I wish you could just hold on. We got to be able to say this. How about there? You hear it now?
No.
Still no? Hold on, one more.
Because I take him
Okay,
seriously.
yeah.
Now
And
you hear
I
it?
think that he believes what
Yeah.
he says.
Okay,
And
let's start
that is
over real
why
quick.
he is a danger and a threat to America.
Aaron, you can't have a.
Yeah, this guy does really bad, man. He can't even get a word in. All right, let's start from the beginning. Here we go.
This, as an
Aisha,
American,
let's talk about Kamala
makes
Harris.
me really concerned.
Let's talk about Kamala Harris for
as a
short-term memory.
black lesbian who Donald Trump doesn't believe has genes as good as his. Is he going to attempt to
Really?
exterminate me
Why do you
when
believe
he
that,
gets
Aisha?
elected?
Why do you
Because
believe
he's
that?
damn near said it. That's why, David. That's why.
Yeah,
because
everybody
Okay,
did.
and I'm not
Has he
going to be
said that, Aisha?
lectured by some white man who has
Look at
no idea what he's talking about and is trying to rewrite history here.
Aisha,
I
shame-
am
shame on
afraid,
you, Aisha.
as an American,
Aaron.
of a Donald Trump presidency and
Look at Aaron Burnett. This fucking cunt, man. Sorry to say the harshest word, but
You're good.
yeah, she just letting this happen. She look at her stupid smug face, like she knows this guy's just kind of being talked over, and she's just enjoying the whole damn thing.
his actual quotes
Shame
are
on you,
why.
Aisha.
Because I take him seriously, and I think that he believes what he says. And that is why he is a danger and a threat to America.
Aaron, you can't have a
right, let me
rational
just say,
discussion.
I
if somebody doesn't
appreciate-
want to talk
okay.
about topics.
Oh my god, that guy frustrated the hell out of me, man. He just got demolished, but so yeah. so
Well,
that's-
that whoever that lady is, right? She says, "I'm not going to listen as a lesbian. I'm not going to listen to a white man."
yeah. That's what they
Okay.
quote right here on top. I'm not going to be
So-
lectured by some white man who has no idea what he's
Right.
talking about.
Right. So she's racist.
Yeah, that's definitely a racist comment.
Flat out. She's the racist there. While she's calling people racist, she's openly racist. I don't have to listen to you because of the color of your skin.
Yeah.
So you identify me as less than because the color of my skin.
Yeah.
Are not worthy, right? I'm not. You're better than me because I'm a different color than you, which is your exact argument. It's the exact argument she would make for why white people are racist against black people. Is exactly what she's exhibiting there, and like it's all joke. Like
She definitely let her emotions let the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
Say the quiet part out loud. So
yeah.
so she messed up.
Yeah. You know, I was going to say too about that LA City Council thing. So there's one more point on that is, so these people, just the black people, so they're openly calling black people, comparing them to monkeys, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it was a white city council and they did that, the black people would be out there rioting. Why aren't they out there rioting when the Latinos do it, and they don't even get kicked out of office, and the black people don't do anything about it? Nothing. Because these protests are fucking paid.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So black people are cool with Latinos calling them monkeys, but if a white person did it, the streets got to burn?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
Why? Because they're told what to do. They're paid to go out there and do it. They don't even, it's not that big a deal to them, apparently. So it's, you got racism all over the place. But some people are held accountable and some aren't. And this lady right there, she's openly racist, calling the other guy a racist.
Yeah.
Like, you're the racist.
And that was her second time saying that. Well, basically, just what she's saying is ridiculous. That Trump's gonna be, he admires Hitler. He's gonna be the next Hitler. He's gonna exterminate people based on their genes. Like, just the most extreme thing. And CNN doubled down on it. She had said that on another show, I think earlier that day, or the day before, and they brought her back, and they let her say the same thing over and over.
She's saying what she's told to say. She's being paid to say these things.
Some people in the comments, they're just saying that they're just desperate now. They just see Kamala's just having a bad week. This whole little PR, this press run she tried to do this week, and it's all going bad. So now they're just going to the most extreme, and they're just trying to make Trump look as bad as possible to anybody that'll listen.
Yeah, of course. I mean, she's calling him Hitler, essentially a dictator, a racist dictator. Yet she's promoting racism, and she wants an actual dictator in Harris, which really isn't a dictator because it's just a facade that she's in charge. But the people behind the scenes that are the actual bosses, the billionaires, they are dictators. And so she's promoting dictatorship, and she's promoting racism while she's calling the guy that she's arguing with a racist, and the guy who's running for president a dictator.
Right here. Speaking of dictators, check out this speech. Have you heard this one? So right here, this Mel K, she posted, "Totalitarianism is knocking on our door, folks."
Right, and she's the one knocking.
Yeah, check this out.
Well, her bosses.
No, she lays it all out right here. Basically what she wants.
And will put the Department of Justice of the United States back in the business of justice. We will double the Civil Rights Division and direct law enforcement to counter this extremism. We will hold social media platforms accountable for the hate infiltrating their platforms, because they have a responsibility to help fight against this threat to our democracy. And if you profit off of hate, if you act as a megaphone for misinformation or cyber warfare, if you don't police your platforms, we are going to hold you accountable as a community. And
so there you go. That's
So in other words, we're going to kill Whitey and silence anybody who talks about. Let me ask you this: like, she says, we're going to stop all this extremism out there.
Yeah.
So she says that she's talking about white people, clearly, right?
Yeah, because what other extremism is
right.
there?
So where is it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Like it's like the NFL when they write on the field, end racism. They don't want to end racism. The NFL doesn't even care. They're being paid to put that on there by the billionaire oligarchy that's really running the government. And it's put on there so that people will never quit thinking about it and never forget, even though you don't know of any big group of white racists. You don't experience this in your daily life. You're not, but don't forget that motherfucking boogeyman. He's out there, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist, but don't forget it's out there. Be afraid. Be afraid. Be afraid of something that isn't even real.
Yeah.
And that's, this is the same thing she's doing. We're going to go after these white supremacist groups. Where are they? I'm white. I don't even know any of them, right? I mean, who are they recruiting from?
Yeah.
Right?
No, but when she's talking about extremists, like,
hey, dude, you're a Trump supporter. We're white extremists. We support Trump, and he's white extremist. So, hey, why don't you come take a look at our group and what we got going on here? I would have been notified. I fit the fucking the stereotype they're making, but no one said anything to me, right? Because it's not doesn't exist. What they're saying is we want to crush Whitey, and we want to silence anybody who criticizes us on social media. That's what she's saying. I mean, it's full dictatorship shit right there. And like I said, it's not her words. This is the people right behind the scenes running it that are telling her to say these things, because this is where we're headed. This is where we already are. We're in a dictatorship right now. You have a president that wasn't elected. You have an election that was rigged and a president that was installed. You got another one running for president. No one voted for her. She's been installed by the billionaire oligarchy parent company. That's what's going on. And in the way they get you jazzed up about that is they say, hey, don't forget about those fucking evil white people. There's groups of them out there, big groups of them out there. They're planning shit. They're plotting. They're coming for your babies.
Yeah.
Right? So they put all this fear-mongering and fake bullshit out there that white people are all evil, we're all racist, and we're all joined together in some conspiracy to kill black people or brown people or gay people or anybody that's different from us. We just hate them all. Yeah. Right? When really they're the ones that hate white people and they want to kill white people and eliminate them.
Yeah,
and
yeah, she's talking about the extremists. No, yeah, well, for sure. They're definitely pushing the boundaries of.
I mean, you know how long I've heard, you don't know what it's like to be a black man in America. You don't know what it's like to be a minority in America. You don't know what it's like to be this or that in America. Try being white in America, right? You want to get real? Try being white. Like, we go to work. We work at the same place. They have these bulletin boards up. There's a celebration for everybody under the sun. Anything you could think of. The only person that's not on there is a white man. Right? Yeah. And what they're really saying is, we're not celebrating other people because everybody's being celebrated. What we're saying is, fuck the white man.
Yeah.
That the white man's evil. They're discriminating and saying, exclude them. Because if you're celebrating everything, then you don't need to celebrate because everybody's celebrating. But what they're doing is they're reversing it and trying to say white people are bad. Even at our work, they do that. Right? Because we have so much privilege and shit. It's all bullshit. And it's harder to be white now than any other ethnicity in America and probably around the world because of this frickin' shit that's going on. And I'm tired of it. Like, you know what I mean? For years and years and years and years and years, I got jumped by black people who were like, I fucking hate white people. Right? You ever been jumped by a group of white people because you're not white? And they told you they hate you because you're black or brown? Anybody ever had that happen to them? I had it happen to me. This is like in the 80s. So I've been dealing with this my whole life, and then at the same time, I'm told about how great I have and how privileged I am. All I ever hear is that I'm evil and I'm this terrible person because of the color of my skin, and I'm racist by a bunch of racists. Anyway, I'm sorry, man. I had to go off. I'm getting.
It's all good, bro. Let it out. Let it out. Nah, yeah. What she's saying is infuriating on so many levels, because
I mean, imagine being treated like a piece of shit and told you're a piece of shit forever, just because of the color of your skin, and that you're racist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's old. It's fucking worn out and old.
What's just crazy about what she's saying is, obviously she's talking about Trump supporters and that whole the whole thing, but who are really the extremists? I mean, who the hell are the people that have been burning down cities, that protest and beat people up, and they're the ones that are tearing down Trump signs everywhere. Like, the extremists are their side. But yeah, she's trying to frame it as if Trump supporters are the extremists, just because. And when she brings up the social platforms right away, because she knows she's talking right there about Twitter, because Twitter is the only place where real information is being shared. So she's talking about one group of people only. She's talking about Trump supporters, and it's just pretty obvious. So
yeah, and if you're a Trump supporter and you're not white, they're coming for you too. That's true.
Oh yeah.
But I can say this, and you can take this to the bank, and anybody with eyes can see this, is everything they accuse Trump and his supporters of is what they are. It's a psychological phenomenon called projection, where you project your own bad qualities onto others, right? She projects racism. She projects dictatorship, etc. She's a racist. She's a dictator. I mean, she flat out said, "I want to get rid of free speech."
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, even Tim Walz has said that. Yep.
That's the first thing a dictator does. I mean, it's not her; it's the fucking parent company. But whatever, she's the face of this because that's how it works. So that Americans can actually believe that the president's in charge. If she's president, she's not in charge. If Biden was not in charge, Clinton was not in charge, Obama was not in charge, Bush was not in charge, Trump was in charge. That's why they're trying to kill him.
Yeah.
I mean, we are in a war. Like I said, though, I got to remind myself it's a spiritual war, and God's got this because it actually did feel good to get that off my chest. I mean,
yeah, that's good, bro.
Because you know what I mean. I mean, you get told this stuff for years and years and years and years and years, and it's everywhere, and you're not allowed to even say anything because if you do, how dare you say anything, you privileged white fuck, right?
Yeah.
But then people are telling you how hard it is to be them and live in their skin. Try living in mine, right? Like it's.
I got you, brother. I got you. Not for sure. The whole DEI thing is targeting white people.
It's anti-white.
Yeah,
it's anti-white. It's anti-heterosexual white male. So those are the criteria. If you're a woman and you're white, you're good. If you're gay and you're white, you're good. But if you're a man who's not gay and you're white, you're in trouble. That's the enemy. And if you got blue eyes, which I do. If you go to like the I forget what's the name of it. Is it Mecca? It's the biggest Latino group in the country, and it says on their website the enemy is the blonde-haired, blue-eyed white man. That they need to either leave or be eliminated.
No shit.
It says that on their website. But I'm the bad guy, right? Just because I'm white, have blonde hair and blue eyes, that makes me the bad guy. That's it. But literally, that's the biggest Latino group in the country.
That's
openly
crazy.
Says I'm the enemy, that I either leave their area wherever they are, I'm not allowed to be there, and if I don't, then you kill them or eliminate them is what it says, but that means kill them. So my life is literally being threatened because of the color of my skin and eyes openly on websites, and she wants to talk about the Justice Department enforcing civil rights.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, I guess I had a little more.
On that tip, here's one guy kind of backing up what you're saying. I guess he was part of Space Force. Hold on, let me see if I could start it over. What the hell is in the show?
I'll put you on. Beautiful. I have your approval?
Yes, sir.
Hold on, let's start over here.
My name is Matt Lohmeyer. I was an Air Force F-15 pilot, and I was a commander in your newly created U.S. Space Force. I am also the first veteran of the Space Force because under the Biden-Harris regime, I was fired from my command and lost my pension for criticizing DEI trainings that were rampant in the military. Those trainings are still dividing our troops, and thank you for saying you would fire those few woke generals who are a big problem.
They're gone.
Will you consider establishing a special task force, office, or position to ensure that these monsters never return to the Defense Department?
You know what I'll do? I'm going to put you on that task force. I think it's good. Not going to do better than that. I'll put you on. Beautiful. I have your approval?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Trump's getting it all, man. So there it is, addressing it directly.
Right.
Well,
wore myself out.
That's good, Dan. That's what this is for, bro. For both of us. You know what I mean? I know
Because
that whole topic has always been a passion of yours. Every time you bring it up, I know you get frustrated with it. So
I don't really like to go that hard on whatever, but it got kind of just, built up in me. And
it's all good, man. Well, we're already at the 2-hour mark, bro. You let it out. I think we got some good stuff.
I'll sleep good tonight.
Yeah. But we could end it right here, brother. So then, so as far as what the stuff that's coming up, did you look up? I don't know. I didn't look it up. Is Trump coming to Coachella on Saturday? I don't know.
I didn't look it up either. But,
yeah, I heard somebody. I saw a post or something like that, but I haven't seen too much about it.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure.
So
that would be cool to go to a Trump rally, but at the same time, it's like, you know, like I said, like it's a lot of time out of your day, effort, and everything, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to vote for him, and I'm not worried about him having a packed place. I don't need to be there. It's going to be packed, but
I'll
that's
look
what I'm
it up,
saying.
bro.
You know, if I'm going to do all that, you bet your butt I'm wearing a Trump shirt.
Yeah.
But Harris people, they don't feel that way. Bull crap. Because they're not really for. They're just for a paycheck.
Well, I'm down to look into it, man, and because I don't think he'll be. I think this might be the last time he comes to California until the election.
Well, wait, you gonna go?
Well, I'll see. Because
I mean, hey, I'll tell you this: if you look it up and it's happening, and you're gonna go, I'll roll with you.
Okay,
I'll go.
I'll look at the times, bro, and I'll let you know. I'll see if it is happening. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing this guy.
We'll go out there. Aren't you afraid of the big white extremist groups that are out there? And the KKK might be there.
No, I'm not scared of anybody. From what I hear, these rallies are like the most friendliest, most welcoming groups you could ever imagine. You know what I mean? Like stuff that in 2016 I never thought about. I couldn't imagine, but that's every post. Everybody says the same thing. Like they're actually the most friendly people you could imagine. Like whenever you go to a Trump rally, that they're just more welcoming.
Because it's just about America, and America is a melting pot, and so we're for everybody. You know.
Well, I think it comes back to what we were first talking about, man. It's all spiritual, you know what I mean? So it's all good energy, you know, that's just
right.
I think
Most
flows.
of those people there are probably God fearing, God believing. So
well,
they're not there to do you harm. They're there under the guidance of God. They're there to do God's work.
It's just the amount of good intentions that Trump is promoting is just off the scale, man. Like he's just hitting every mark. So you know that type of energy has to be flowing through everybody.
That's what attracts him.
Yeah. So I'll look it up, bro. So I'll find out, and we'll see if we.
Let me know, because I do have Saturday off. So yeah, I could roll out there. I'm good with that. That would be a cool little trip. You know, and then we could do a podcast on it, video while we're there, and put that into the podcast. That would actually be really good.
Okay. Well, then I'll look into it. But all right, bro, another good show.
Yeah.
We'll chop it up after, bro. I'll call you right now.
All right.
All right, brother.